Welcome to Genique. So this is our next question from the network analysis. Okay, it is asked in the 2017 ISRO examination. This question is asked in 2017 ISRO examination. It is on the Thevenin theorem. So the network is given. We have to find the Thevenin equivalent resistance across the terminals A and B. Okay, we have to find the terminal equivalent resistance across A and B. So even it may be ISRO or GATE examination, from the theorems you will get, definitely you will get one question. Okay, so here there are mainly 5 theorems are there. Mostly they were asked in the examinations. So first one is the superposition theorem, next one is Thevenin's theorem, next Norton theorem, next maximum power transfer theorem, next the reciprocity theorem. Okay, from the reciprocity theorem also you will be having a good weightage. Okay, they will ask regularly from the reciprocity theorem also. Okay, in any other public sector unit examinations they will be asking the reciprocity theorem. Okay, so you must concentrate mainly these 4 to 5 theorems. Okay, so the Norton's theorem is not that much difficult. Okay, if you know the Thevenin's theorem, the Norton's theorem will not be that much difficult. Okay, see, if you observe this question, so he asked us to find the Thevenin equivalent resistance. So first of all, what is the Thevenin's theorem? So first of all, what is the Thevenin theorem means? Suppose if a circuit is given, if the network is given, if the network is consisting of more number of elements, passive elements, more number of passive elements, okay, like RLC, and also more number of sources, in current source or voltage sources, okay, that entire complex network can be converted into, can be replaced by one voltage source in series with a resistance. Okay, one voltage source in series with a resistance. Why do we do all these things? Okay, suppose if you want to find any response, if we want to find the response in any element, okay, so if the total network is simplified, okay, if the total network is simplified, then we can easily find the response in any element. So that's why we use these kind of theorems, either it may be superposition theorem, Norton's theorem, Thevenin's theorem, maximum power transfer theorem. Okay, so we use the maximum power transfer theorem to find the maximum power delivered by the source. Okay, so these are the things. So we use these kind of theorems. So what is the Thevenin's theorem is saying, that is, suppose if there is any network consisting of, if there is any complex network, complex means a very big network consisting of multiple current sources and voltages. Okay, take any network, linear network. Okay, so let us suppose it is having a load RL. Okay, this entire network can be converted into, can be replaced by one voltage source in series with a resistance. So let us suppose these are the terminals A, B. These are the terminals A and B. Okay, okay, it is replaced by VTH, means Thevenin voltage in series with a resistance RTH. Okay, so this entire network can be replaced by the voltage source in series with the resistance. Let us suppose this is A and B. These are the 2 terminals. Then what about RL? The RL is externally connected like this. Okay, it is RL. Right? So the entire network can be simplified, can be replaced by one voltage source in series with a resistance, and extra one RL is connected. So this entire black box can be written as like this. Right? So this is the thing. What is the Thevenin's theorem saying? So what is VTH? VTH is the open circuited voltage. Open circuit voltage across the load, means at which we have to find the response. Okay, open circuit voltage at the load, that means we have to remove that load. Okay, open circuit voltage across the terminals. Okay, terminals given, where you want to find the VTH. Okay, at that terminal. So this is the open circuit voltage. Okay, that means if you open circuit this, the VTH is called as the voltage across these two terminals is called as the VTH. Okay, so for finding VTH, what we have to do? We have to remove the load. Okay, you know very well, right? Now, so what is RTH? RTH means what? RTH is it is the Thevenin equivalent resistance. It is Thevenin equivalent resistance. It is the equivalent resistance. It is the equivalent resistance across the terminals given. Okay, so these are the two things you have to identify. So we know what is VTH. VTH means we have to remove the RL and we have to find the open circuit voltage from the given remaining sources. Now, how to find the RTH? RTH means for finding RTH. Okay, so for finding RTH, what we will do? For finding RTH, the first point is all the independent sources, must be deactivated. What is meant by deactivated? They must be, all the independent sources must be replaced by their internal impedances. Okay, that means they must be replaced by internal impedances. Their internal impedances or internal resistances. Okay, so that means what are the internal impedances or resistances? So voltage source will be having internal impedance 0. Okay, current source will be having a internal impedance infinity. So that means the voltage source must be short circuited and current source must be open circuited. Okay, voltage source must be short circuited and current source must be open circuited. Okay, so this is the meaning of this. All the independent source must be deactivated. Okay, this is the first point. And next, what we have to find? We have to find the RTH, right? So next one is what? So after deactivating, after deactivating the these dependent sources, then what we have to do? Okay, if there is next point is, you're right, the next point is do not disturb the dependent source. This is the very, very important point. Okay, and don't make, if there is any dependent sources there, and don't touch that. Okay, you keep the dependent sources as it is. Okay, if there is independent sources existing, then you can replace that independent source by their internal impedances. Okay, internal resistances, but don't disturb the dependent source. Okay, so this is the point we have to understand. Suppose in the simplified network, the third point is, if next after deactivation of the independent sources, okay, if there exists any dependent source, okay, after deactivation, if there exists any dependent source, okay, then assume one DC voltage and DC current source, DC voltage source or DC current source across the terminals. Okay, DC voltage source or DC current source across the terminals, or otherwise you can also write any auxiliary voltage source, any auxiliary arbitrary voltage source or current source across the terminals. Okay, so this is the point you have to observe, and you can find the VTH. Okay, so like this, these are the 3 points you have to identify. All the dependent sources must be deactivated. That means they must be replaced by their internal impedances. Okay, that means voltage source must be short circuited and current source must be open circuited. That is the important thing you have to identify. Okay, and do not disturb the dependent source. Okay, after the deactivation of the dependent sources, if there exists any dependent source, then we have to assume how to find. If there is no dependent source, no matter. Okay, there is no question. So directly you can simplify the network. Okay, if there exists any dependent source in that network, okay, after the deactivation of the independent sources, you have to assume one auxiliary voltage source or current source. Okay, and after that you can use the nodal or mesh analysis, whichever is applicable there. Okay, so whichever is making simpler to get the answer. So this is the thing you have to identify. Next, come to this question. What he has asked? He has asked the Thevenin equivalent resistance. Okay, so how can you find the Thevenin equivalent resistance? For finding Thevenin equivalent resistance, we have to deactivate all the dependent sources. How many dependent sources are there? All the independent sources. How many independent sources are there? One independent source, one dependent source. We have to deactivate all the independent sources. Okay, this is one independent source. It has to be deactivated. Means what we have to find? We have to deactivate means it must be short circuited, right? It must be short circuited. Because it is a voltage source, it must be short circuited, right? So after the deactivation of the independent source, what is there? Only dependent source is there. If there is a dependent source, you must be careful. If there is a dependent source after the deactivation of the independent source, you have to be careful. Okay, so what is the thing next? After deactivation, if there is any independent source exists, okay, then we have to assume one arbitrary source, current source or voltage source across the terminals. Okay, so one dependent source is there, one dependent source is there. So that's why you have to assume one arbitrary source. Okay, let us suppose this is V, let us suppose this is I. Okay, one voltage source I assumed here. Let us suppose the voltage source is V and it is giving a current I, right? Now you can apply the nodal analysis on. Observe this. Next, fourth point. What is the fourth point? Now apply nodal or mesh analysis. Nodal or mesh analysis. This is the fourth point. To find RTH. RTH is equals to V by I. RTH is equals to V by I. So this is the important point we have to understand. Okay. So if you observe this, see, it is a voltage. Now you can apply the nodal analysis here. Okay. So if it is a V, what is the voltage here? Here also it is V. Okay. It is here also it is V. Now apply the nodal analysis. It is V minus what is the voltage? Minus 2I2 divided by R. R is how much? It is 2. Next, V minus, it is what? It is 0. I am making here as a ground. Okay. V plus V minus 0 divided by 6. Right? What is this current? The current is minus I is equals to 0. How I have written? I assumed 3 currents like this. 1 current, 2, 3. First current V minus 2I2 divided by 2, V minus 0 by 6. Next, V minus this one, but there is no resistance here, but I assume here one current, because the current is entering the terminal, I can take minus. Okay, minus I. Now you can simplify this. So if you simplify this, how much it is? What is I2 here? What is I2 here? I am writing I2 in terms of V. Okay, already it is given that it is I2. See, this is one dependent source. This is one dependent source. This dependent source is a function of I2, right? Which source it is? It is a voltage source. First of all, it is a voltage source. It is a voltage source. Which kind of voltage source? Current controlled voltage source. It is a current controlled voltage source. This voltage source is dependent on the current in this. So that's why you should not disturb this element. This is the very, very important. Okay, you should not disturb. You have to find the current first, and depending on this current, the voltage here dependent. Okay, so that's why here also this is very important. Okay, so that's why first of all you have to know what is I2. I2 is where? That is must be known. Okay, so what is I2? I2 is equals to, you can write, it is V divided by 6. Right? You can put there, if you put there V minus V divided 2 into I2. 2 into I2 means it is V by 3. Right? 2 into I2 means what? V by 6, it is V by 3 divided by 2 plus V by 6 minus I is equals to 0. Right or not? Now you can simplify this. This will be, it is 3V minus V. 2V by 3 divided by 2 means it is V by 3 plus V by 6 minus is equals to I, right? It is equals to I. So from this you can simplify. It is divided by 6. It is 3V by 6 is equals to I, right? So it is 2. So from this V by I is equals to 2. What is V by I? We have to find the R equivalent. So to find the R Thevenins, R equivalent, right? So V RTH is equals to what? V divided by I. V divided by I, right? So what is the R equivalent? R equivalent is nothing but the Thevenin equivalent looking into these two terminals. Okay, looking into these two terminals. So this is the important point you have to identify. Okay, so if you observe this, so this is the R Thevenins. It is the R Thevenins. R Thevenins means what? The equivalent resistance across these two terminals. Okay, to find the R Thevenins here, I have to take the voltage and current, and voltage divided by current will be giving RTH. Okay, so this is equivalent to what? This is equivalent to RTH. Okay, RTH is equals to 2 ohms. Right? So like this you have to solve the question. So very, very careful. If the question is asked from the Thevenin's theorem means definitely he will include the dependent source. Okay, definitely he will include the dependent source. So if there is a dependent source, you must follow this method only. If there is no dependent source, see, suppose if the source is not there, then what happens? It is very easy to find the RTH. It is very easy to find the RTH. No need to use this auxiliary this arbitrary source here, right? No need to use this source, right? Directly you can find the R equivalent. What will be the R equivalent? R equivalent is equals to 2 parallel with 6. So why we are doing all this exercise means, because there is a dependent source, that dependent source cannot be deactivated. That dependent source cannot be deactivated. Okay? So that's why, that means what? Dependent source is nothing but one kind of a resistance. That is the important point you have to identify. Okay, why I cannot remove that? Okay, it is having some kind of impedances. Okay, it is having some kind of resistance. So here I am assuming a dependent source. See, this dependent source, I removed this dependent source and replaced with that internal impedance. Okay, if there is any voltage source, I removed that and that is replaced by the short circuited. If there is a current source, that is removed and it is replaced by an open circuit. But I don't know what is the internal impedance of the dependent source. So that's why I have to keep that at that place. Okay, I have to keep the dependent source at that place, and you have to assume one arbitrary source V, which is giving I. Okay, if you find, so we have to find the impedances at this terminal, right? The voltage divided by the current will give you the equivalent resistance, that is called as the Thevenin resistance. Okay, so this kind of problems must be concentrated. Okay, you practice well. Thank you. So this is the next question on the Thevenin theorem. It's a simple question. You observe this, and some of may get confused. So by observing the circuit, so he asked us to find the VTH across the terminals AB. Okay, he asked us to find the VTH across the terminals A and B. We have to find the VTH. Okay, so there is a voltage source is given, AC voltage source is given. Here he has given the inductive and capacitive reactance is given. He has not given only the resistances, but he has given the inductive reactance or capacitive reactances. Okay, so the principle is same. Okay, you have to consider that one as a resistance only. Okay, so we have to find the open circuit voltage at this place. Okay, at the load, at the load point, you have to find the VTH at these terminals, right? So directly we have to find the VTH. So to find the open circuit voltage means the open circuit voltage is across the what? J4 ohms only. So if you can find the VTH across this, so that will become the VTH. Okay, so if you can find the voltage across this, that will be the VTH. So if you observe this figure, see, it is a 100 volts. 100 volts is connected across this and across this. So that means here you will get 100 volts. Okay, 100 at an angle 0 volts. So it is a ground. It is a ground. So you can directly write VTH is equals to 100 at an angle. It is 100, right? It is 100 volts. Okay. At here there is 100 volts. So this 100 volts is divided in this and in this, because it is an open circuit, right? So it is divided in this resistance, 3 ohm resistance and J4 ohm resistor. Okay. So here 100 into, apply the voltage division principle. So it is J4 divided by 3 plus J4. J4 divided by 3 plus J4. Right? So here you can write this one is what? You can write this one as 100. 100 into J4. I am writing this. See, I have to convert like this. So if I rationalize this, if I write this 3 minus J4 divided by, it is 3 square plus 4 square. I am simplifying this. So here you will get, it is 25. It is 2500. It is J16 into 3 minus J4 volts. Okay. So the answer is A. J16 3 minus J4 volts. Right. So what is the meaning of this question means? See, whenever there exists a voltage source, whenever there exists a voltage source in parallel with the resistance, okay, to find the load calculation, to find the response in the load side, okay, you can remove these two resistances. That is the point here I want to say. Okay, I can remove these two impedances, whatever the impedances are placed here. Okay, if there is any impedance in parallel with the voltage source, you can remove that if you are calculating the load parameters. Okay, this is the point you have to identify. So if you remove this means directly it is a voltage source and connected across 3 ohm and J4 ohm. Okay, so because it is an open circuit, so you can use the voltage division principle. Okay, voltage division principle is the across the total voltage into across the load, across the terminal divided by the across the resistance divided by the total resistance. Okay, so this is the VTH. Now what will be the RTH? So for this question, what will be the RTH? Because there is one J2 inductive reactance is there. I think this was the original question, right? This was the original question. Yes. So how to find the RTH? To find the RTH, I have to deactivate this one. I have to deactivate the dependent source. So it is a voltage source. I can replace this with a short circuit. If it is replaced by short circuited, what happens? These all get short circuited, right? So this all get short circuited, right? So I can remove this. I can remove this with one short circuit. Okay, this all gets short circuited and these three can be replaced by one short circuit. So this is the circuit. Now how can I find the RTH? RTH is equals to the equivalent resistance at the terminals. So this is the RTH. To find the RTH, if you see from this side, this J4 is in parallel with 3. So RTH is equals to 3 in parallel with J4. So this will be 3 into J4 divided by 3 plus J4. This is J12 divided by 3 plus J4. So this is the thing. Right? You can also write this one into a polar form also, but this is the RTH. Okay? Like this you have to find the RTH and VTH for these kind of questions. So this is the next question. One network is given consisting of one independent source and one dependent source. Okay, and he asks us to find the RTH across the terminal across A and B. Okay, so we have to find the RTH across the terminals A and B. So here, to find the RTH, you know how to approach. See, for finding RTH, the independent source must be deactivated, means short circuited. Okay, because that is a voltage source, that must be short circuited. And if you short circuit that, what will be the remaining circuit? Suppose if I short circuit that, what will be the equivalent circuit? So it is short circuited. It is short circuited. And one dependent voltage source is given, and we should not disturb this dependent voltage source. We have to use it as it is. Okay. So this is the thing, it is given, and he asks us to find the RTH across A and B. Right? It is a 4 ohm resistor. It is a 4 ohm resistor, and it is a dependent voltage source. Dependent voltage source. It is dependent on what? What? It is a Vx. Okay? It is dependent on Vx. So which kind of, see, this voltage source is dependent on this. What is this? This is the Vx, voltage across the 4 ohm resistor. So this, what kind of voltage source it is? It is voltage controlled voltage source. It is a voltage controlled voltage source. So we have to focus on this Vx. First of all, we have to know what is Vx, and after that we have to use this Vx there. Okay. So that's why you have to find what is Vx. Okay. So now this is the equivalent circuit. It is a 4 ohm resistor, right? So now see, go to the steps. For the calculation of RTH, you have to deactivate all the independent sources. We have deactivated. Okay. So, and after that, after deactivation, if there exists any, after deactivation, if there exists any dependent source, okay, we should not touch that dependent source. We should not disturb that dependent source. Okay. And if there exists any dependent source, we have to assume one auxiliary or arbitrary source there. Okay. So what is that source? It is one source must be assumed here. Okay. So what is that source? A voltage source is assumed consisting of a current I. Okay. So after deactivation, if there exists any dependent source, we have to definitely assume that. Okay. Suppose if the voltage source is not there, dependent source is not there, you can directly use this simplification techniques. So that will be easy for you if there is no dependent source in the given circuit. Okay. While finding the RTH, you have to be careful. Okay. So this is the thing. Now you can apply nodal analysis or mesh analysis as your wish. Okay. So what is the current here? The current is I. The I current is flowing in this. Now what is the voltage? Here the voltage is V. Right? Here the voltage is V. Now I am applying the nodal analysis here. So what I have to find? I have to find the equivalent resistance across the terminals A and B. To find the equivalent resistance across A and B, what I have to find? I have to R equivalent or R Thevenin is equal to what? V divided by I. V divided by, if I find V divided by I, that will be the equivalent resistance. So that is equivalent to the Thevenin resistance. Okay, the total voltage. So in this circuit, this is the total voltage, right? And it is a total current. So the total voltage divided by the total current gives you the total resistance across the two terminals. Okay. So I am using the nodal analysis here. So if I use the nodal analysis, this is V. I am writing the nodal at this place. So if I write the nodal at this place, what it will be? Observe this. It is V. It is V. What is the voltage here? I am assuming this one, it is 0, right? It is short circuited, right? I am marking a ground here, right? V minus, what is this? Voltage source, Vx divided by 4. I am writing the current in this. Okay? I am writing the current in this. Okay? You can also take like this. Okay? Now, this current plus this current. What is this current? Plus V minus 0. If it is 0 volts, right? It is also 0 volts. So V divided by 4. V divided by 4 plus 4. It is 8. The total voltage. What is the voltage here? It is V. V minus this voltage. This voltage minus this voltage divided by the total resistance. What is the total resistance? Total resistance is 4 plus 4. 8. So I am writing V minus 0 divided by 8. So V by 8. Next, what is this current? This current is nothing but this current only, minus of this current. So I can write this entering current as I, minus I. Okay. So this is the thing. Now what is Vx? You have to understand. Vx is there, right? But Vx is equals to what? Okay. Vx is equals to the current in this. Into the 4 ohm resistor, or I can also write, observe this, what is this current? This current is equals to, let us suppose this is some Ix. Okay, this current is equals to Ix. Okay, so what is this current? This current Ix is equals to how much? Ix is equals to V minus 0 divided by 8. Okay, V minus 0 divided by 8 means V by 8. This is equivalent to, what is this is equivalent to? This is equivalent to, what is this current? what is the current? Already we know the voltage Vx. Okay, the current in this is Vx divided by 4, right? So it will be Vx divided by 4, right or not? So Ix is equals to V divided by 8, but this is equivalent to what? This current is equals to the voltage divided by 4. This resistance gives you the current in this. So if we simplify this, what it will be? So Vx is equals to, it is 2, right? So V by 2 is equals to Vx. So 2Vx is equals to V. 2Vx is equals to V. If we simplify this, so from this, what you can write? It is 2V minus 2Vx plus V minus 8I is equals to 0. It is equals to 0. Right? This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. Right? So from this, what is 2Vx? 2Vx is V only. So 2V minus V plus V is equals to 2V minus V plus V is equals to 8I. Right? VV gets cancelled. So here 2V is equals to 8I. So V by I is equals to 8 by 2. It is 4 ohms. Okay. So it is equals to what? R Thevenin's. Right? So it's very simple, but if you know that concept, okay, so these kind of questions will be asked, right? So you have to focus if there is any dependent source is given. If the dependent source is given means that dependent source is dependent on something, right? So you have to identify where it is dependent, on which variable it is dependent. Okay, you have to find that variable. Okay, you have to go to there. Okay, you have to find that variable also. Okay, so like this. Okay, I found this, but see how I simplified here. I know this current. Okay, I know this current. What is this current? V minus 0 divided by 8. V minus 0 divided by 8. So that is the actual current. But it is given that Vx in this resistance, there is a voltage Vx. So Vx divided by 4 is the current. The current is flowing in this direction. The current is flowing in this direction. It is also in this direction. So that's why here it is a plus is given. Here the plus is given. Okay. So that's why you focus on these kind of questions. Right. So this is a very, very important observation also. Okay. So the RTH is equals to 4 ohms. RTH is equals to 4 ohms. Okay. Or otherwise, see, you can also find this. See, you can also use this Vx here. Observe this. You can also use this Vx. V minus Vx divided by, what is the voltage here? It is 0. V minus Vx divided by 4 also you can use. Okay. Instead of using, see in this equation, what is this current? See, this is one method. Okay. So here V minus Vx divided by 4. Here also V minus Vx divided by 4. I am writing this. Let us suppose this is V minus Vx divided by 4. This is one current. Already what is the voltage here? The voltage here is Vx. So I can write V minus Vx divided by 4. This is one current. Plus V minus Vx divided by 4. This is one current. Now what is this current? This current is minus I is equals to 0. So here 2V minus 2Vx. 2V minus 2Vx minus 4I is equals to 0. 2 minus 2Vx minus 4I is equals to 0. And from this, what is Vx? Vx is equals to, we know this. So what is Vx? Again you have to write V minus V divided by 8 is equals to V minus 0 divided by 8 is equals to Vx divided by 4. So this implies you can get, so V is equals to 2Vx. So from this you will get V is equals to 2Vx. So you can write there V is equals to 2Vx. So 2V minus from this 2V minus V minus 4I is equals to 0. So from this V is equals to 4I. Right? So V by I is equals to 4 ohms. This is equal to what? RTH. It is equals to RTH. So in this way also you can write this. But while writing this, you have to be very careful. Right? You should not include this resistance again. Right? Already you know up to this the voltage is known. Why I am not using this extra 4 ohm here means I should know the current. The current from here to here, or the current from here to here I can write. The current from here to here or the current from here to here is same, because the same current is flowing in this. Right? If I can know the voltage from here to here, suppose if I substitute this minus this divided by this, if I know this voltage, at this point, this voltage minus this voltage divided by 4 will give you the current. That current is flowing in this direction. So that's why V minus Vx. Already we know this is the Vx, because this is the ground there. So this is the Vx. V minus Vx divided by 4. So this is one V minus Vx divided by 4, and this is V minus Vx divided by 4. And what is this? I amount of current, and I simplified this. But what is this current actually? This current is nothing but V minus 0 divided by 4 plus 4, V by 8. But what is the current from this? What is the current from this? Vx divided by 4. So I can equate this to get one more equation, because two variables are there, one equation is there. So that's why I cannot simplify that. So I have to search for one more equation. So you have to search for one more equation definitely. So for that purpose you have to use this kind of dependent source. Right? So dependent source is given means, okay, that dependent source is dependent on some other place. You have to focus on that some other place. So this is what? This equation. Right? This is what? This equation. Okay? So I hope you got it. Now in this, so we found what? It is RTH. We found RTH. Suppose if I want to find VTH, okay, the Thevenin equivalent voltage, how can you solve? Suppose if you want to find the Thevenin equivalent voltage, how can you solve? So we found the RTH, okay. So to find the Thevenin equivalent voltage, how will you proceed? So how to find the Thevenin equivalent voltage? What is the Thevenin equivalent voltage? It is a circuit, original circuit given. It is the original circuit given. We have to find the VTH. For finding VTH across any terminal, so first of all I have, if there is any element across the terminal, so you have to remove that. Okay, I have to remove this. So what is the VTH? VTH is equals to what? VTH is equals to open circuited voltage. So because it was not open circuited, so I want to find the open circuited voltage across the two terminals. So I have to remove that load. Okay, I am considering this one as a load. I am removing that load. So I have to find the VTH. Okay, VTH is equals to the VOC across the terminals A and B. Right? So you have to find the VTH. So here I should not do anything for this. Okay, the voltage sources must be kept as it is. Okay, just you have to remove the load. Okay, or at which we have to find the Thevenin equivalent. At that place, if there is any element, you remove that. Okay, by considering that one as a load, and you have to make it open circuited and find the voltage across the two terminals. Okay, how can you solve now? So you should find the VTH. Okay, if it is VTH, then what it is? It is also VTH, right? It is also VTH. Now simply apply the KCL at VTH. Apply the nodal. If we apply the nodal at VTH, what it will be? So here is a voltage, there is one current, and there is one current. What is the current? There is no current. I is equal to 0. No problem. There is no current here because it is open circuited voltage. Remember that. Okay? It is a open circuit voltage. Remember that. So what it will be? So VTH minus, I am writing this. So what is the voltage here? The voltage here is 100 volts, because if I assume the ground here, always mark the ground. If I assume the ground here, so the voltage between these 2 points is 100 volts. So that means it is a 100 volt. Right or not? Suppose if there exists any resistance here, you cannot take this one as 100 volts. That is a very, very big mistake. Okay? Suppose if there exists any resistance, suppose 10 ohms is there. Okay? You cannot take this one as a 100. You please be careful. Okay? So that's why you should not. So this is the thing. So because this is a grounded, so the voltage at this node will be the voltage difference between these two. So this is 100 volts only. So I can take directly 100 volts. Okay? So this current, what is this current? This current is nothing but, so VTH minus what is the voltage? 100 volts, and there is one more voltage source is there. Okay? I am writing here VTH minus Vx, because plus is there, right? Here also 100 volts. It is, because plus terminal is there, minus I can write 100 divided by, what is the resistance? It is 4. This is the current. This is this current. Right? What is this current? Voltage difference between these two terminals. What is the voltage difference between these two terminals? VTH minus 100 is there, but one more Vx is there. Okay? So that's why I have written that. So VTH minus Vx minus 100 divided by 4. Now what is this? This current. I am writing in order, right? This current plus this current. Okay? What is this? This current. This current is anyhow 0. Right? So VTH minus, you can write, observe this, you can write VTH minus 100 divided by this voltage minus this voltage divided by 4 plus 4, right? 100 divided by 4 plus 4 is what? 8 is equals to 0. What is this current? This current is 0. Because, what is I? Because open circuit, right? I is equals to 0 here. Right? Because I is equals to 0 there. So this is the thing. So how much it will be? It is 2VH minus 2Vx minus 200 plus VTH minus 100 is equals to 0. Right? So this is 3VTH minus 2Vx is equals to 300. This is equation 1. Right? And we have to go for one more equation. If you observe this, what is Vx? What is Vx? Vx is nothing but, what is this current actually? This current, again, what is this current? This current is equals to VTH minus 100 divided by 8. This is this current, right? This current is this one. But what is this current? That current is equals to Vx divided by 4. Right or not? So this current, I am taking this current. What is this current? VTH minus 100 divided by 8. It is equal to, I know the voltage, Vx. Vx divided by 4 give you the same current. Right? I can equate these two. So from this, VTH minus 100 is equals to, it is 2Vx. Right? So I can write this 2Vx here. Okay, it is equation 2. So from 1 and 2, how can I write? 3VTH minus, what is 2Vx? 2Vx is VTH minus 100. Minus 100 means plus 100 is equals to 300. So from this, it is 2VTH is equals to 200. So this implies VTH is equals to 100 volts. So this is the Thevenin equivalent voltage. Okay. So like this. Right? So you have to be very careful while writing the while dealing with the dependent sources. Okay, so you have to be careful. See, whenever there is a dependent source, you find this kind of representation in any network. So writing the current is very, very important. Okay, if you write here, see, observe this. If you miss this Vx here also, it is wrong. Okay, if you miss this 100 also, it is wrong, because from here to here there is a current. Node to node you have to take the current. Node to node you have to take the current, right? So that is the point you have to understand. If you don't want to write the node to node, and you have to at least find the voltage. Okay, see, suppose if I want to find the current in this up to here, so I have to find at least the voltage at this point. Here also node, here also it is a node. Okay, but it is not a principal node. So this kind of approach must be observed. Suppose if I don't want to write this, see, this is one equation, right? Vth minus Vx divided by 4. Okay, Vth minus Vx divided by 100 divided by 4. Okay, see here I have written Vth minus 100 divided by 4 plus 4, 8. That is one equation, right? Suppose instead of writing that, I am using one more kind of equation. Okay, so I got Vth is equal to 100 volts. Suppose if I write like this, some people may write like this also. Okay, so Vth minus, what is this? Vx minus 100 divided by 4. For this there is no option. For this there is no option. You have to write this like this only, because there is 100 volts is there, right? So you have to take, suppose if it is a 0, okay, Vth minus Vx divided by 4 it will be, but it is 100 means, so you have to only use this way only. There is no other option for you, right, to write this current, because there is a 100 volt source. There is no other alternation for this. So that is this current. Now what is this current? What is this current? This current is equals to Vth, I can write Vth minus 100 divided by 8. Already I used this. Okay, Vth minus 100 divided by 8, or otherwise I can also use Vth minus Vx. Okay, Vth minus Vx yes, Vth minus Vx minus 100. Remember that. Vth minus Vx minus 100. Okay. So what is the voltage difference between these two? Vth minus Vx minus 100 divided by 4. I cannot write this 8. Okay. Because I have also used the drop here. I should not include this 4 ohms again. Okay. So I can also use this. It is 4 is equals to 0. It is equals to 0. So from this it is 2 Vth minus 2 Vx is equals to 200. So from this Vth minus, so this is 2 Vth minus 2 Vx is equals to 100. So this is one equation. And what is, you should to find the current, again I have to use this relation. Okay, so here Vth minus 100 divided by 8 is equals to Vx by 4. So this implies 2 Vx is equals to Vth minus 100. Okay, so this is equation 2. So from this I can use, this is 2 Vh, this is how much? 2 Vth minus 2 Vx is nothing but Vth minus 100 means plus 100, it is equals to 200. Okay, so from this Vth is equals to 100 only, right? So you can also use this one. Okay, I hope you got it. Thank you.